not about politics. It's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. We're just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
I just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into It's Just Football. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner. Joining you guys on a Monday morning after, Mike, dare I say, the best week of NFL football this season?
Oh, yeah. I think it has to be,
right?
I mean, between one, just the setup of it, the format of 3 games, 3 island games Saturday, and then the Sunday.
Beautiful.
Awesome slate every year anyways. And then the games we had. My Lord, we got a lot to talk about, thank God. It's weekends like this that remind me that all those people saying football is going to die probably like 4 or 5 years ago. There was that conversation.
It's never going to happen.
Reminds me that we got some long-term job security here. Football is only getting bigger.
It was an insane weekend from the Saturday games to the Sunday games, from the very beginning all the way to the very end. And we still even got one more game that we're going to preview at the end of the show, Monday Night Football. Your Packers versus Baker Mayfield. And
Still alive. Still alive.
We're going to update the playoff picture for a lot of teams, talk a little bit of draft about some teams as well for the results of yesterday. We're going to get into some of the best social clips, the what matters most there. We're going to talk about some game superlatives. Mike and I are always going to chat about the game that matter most for the playoffs, about the draft, what we want to talk about the most, and of course the games that didn't make any sense. And boy, do we have some candidates for what didn't make sense this week. It's going to be a beautiful one. Shout out to everybody in the chat who is watching the show live. Appreciate you guys watching us live. Shout out to Uncle Dusty as well, chat champ from Friday. Need Uncle Dusty to make sure that he represents the chat very well today, because there's a lot that we got to navigate. There's a lot of takes, a lot of things that are going to happen here on this show. Let's get the production portal guys into the show right off the bat. Quinn, Sav, Eli, first of all, wonderful decorations, fellas.
Thank you.
Wonderful job. Your college dorm in there looks fantastic. I assume that you guys have a case of Natty Light under whatever desk you're on. Is that true, Sav?
That is true.
Okay.
Well, I got Bud Light because actually this is a true story. I had like Bud Light can string lights like that in my actual dorm room when I was in college.
Wait,
I still have them somewhere.
Was
I
that
might bring them in
year-round?
tomorrow.
Wait,
yeah, it was year round.
When you say Bud Light lights, please walk me through this. Is that just like the light bulbs are shaped like a Bud Light can?
Yeah, so like those are just little white, like crystally looking bulbs. The actual like bulb or like the bulb cover was a Bud Light can, like a small little like plastic Bud Light can.
I like the
I
touch.
think I still have them. If I can find them, I will bring them in tomorrow and I will hang them up.
Please do. Please, we need this. We need that. Eli, how you feeling today, my friend?
Oh, I mean, feel great. Bengals, big comeback win.
That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah,
No,
for sure.
no,
but feeling good. Ready for the week.
Bengals had a bye week, as far as I'm concerned. Bengals had a bye week, as far as I'm concerned.
Defense sure didn't.
We're not talking about it. Nobody bring it up. No, but as you guys can see, obviously we're celebrating Christmas all week. Got a little bit of a different schedule here for Christmas this week. We got 3 shows for you this week. We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll give you guys plenty of content to go into the holiday weekend as well. Let's refresh the timeline, though, to start off this show. Wait. We got to do the question of the day. What's the question of the day?
Question of the day. J.J. Watt, 3 sacks yesterday. When's the last time he had a 3-sack game?
Ooh.
Do you know J.J. Watt had 3 sacks yesterday?
Now I did.
I didn't know J.J. Watt had 3 sacks.
I knew he had 2. I was watching when he had the second one.
We're actually going to get into.
Obviously did not have my attention focused
Come on.
too solely on the Denver Broncos Arizona Cardinals game.
Come on.
Me and every other human being in America probably.
Brett Rippon, Trace McSorley? That's what NFL ticket prices are about, baby. That's what they're
I'm not going to
about.
lie. I didn't know he had 3 sacks until I was looking for stuff to come up with for the question of the day, and I saw sack leaders J.J. Watt 3, and I was like, ooh, there it is.
It was probably like 2018.
Okay.
I have no real handle on it, but that feels like the last time we were talking about J.J. Watt without being like, yeah, but if his shoulder doesn't come off, if his knee is, back to 75%, he's going to be playing. That feels like 2018 is like the last time it was kind of just Watt being Watt, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like J.J. Watt was the closest we were ever going to get to the the superhero Cyborg, where you just replace basically half their body with like robotic parts. I felt like that was going to be J.J. Watt, and he was just going to be like, nah, just like I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to keep playing football, and just like replace the whole arm, you know. I think 2018 is a decent guess. 2018, 2017. I can't remember which years that he's been completely hurt.
Yeah, right. Because he had some bad ones. He had
some years when he was knocked out. I'm going to say 2017. I want to be different than you.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 2017.
I can see it.
Watch this be like a trick question. Be like, no, it was last year. He had 3 sacks in a single game.
He did it a week ago, too. He's been hot.
Yes. He just plays on the Cardinals, so we didn't know. I'll go 2017. I'll go 2017.
We do have some Cardinals takes coming later in the show.
Maybe I'll go 2019. I'm not confirmed yet. One of those two.
Yeah.
I'll decide at the end of the show. Man, we already got a lot of takes early on. Daniel, who is a Ravens fan, is desperately trying to get rid of Greg Roman as his team's offensive coordinator. In fact, he stooped so low as to ask if I wanted to trade Greg Roman for Byron Leftwich straight up, and I said, in a heartbeat, my friend. That's what I would do.
Yeah, if I was a Bucs fan, I'd do that one too.
Cryptic saying Trevor Lawrence masterclass yet again. We are going to dive into that, no doubt about it. Haley saying Houday. Great bye week for the Bengals. Nothing else happened. That's what I got there. But all right, let's dig into refresh the timeline. Let's get to some of the best takes that we saw from social media yesterday and on Saturday. The first one, well, not just takes, clips as well. The Ryan Tannehill one. This one was funny. Did you see this?
I did not. I was coming in fresh for these.
He got hurt his ankle, and he went to the tent. But he didn't want to miss the game.
That's a football guy.
This is a Mike Vrabel quarterback right there.
That's that. What's that bus meme? Where the guy's on the back of the bus and he's looking out the back window or whatever.
The bus?
Never mind. I don't know. But that's where it's like you're looking out the window, like, see, what's everyone else doing out there?
It's like the Kermit the Frog meme where he's literally up against the glass, like the window, and it's like raining, and he's just like looking outside. That's what I think of when I see that. That's what I think of. Ryan Tannehill is just like, my friends are out there having fun.
Tannehill's like, they better not fucking put in Malik Willis. It's like, please God, I'm coming back.
He did come back. He did come back in the game. They taped his ankle up real good, and he was able to come back. But that was funny. You know, he was probably just like standing there. He's like, I'm not sitting on the table. I'm watching the game. So that was good. You know, football guy. True. That's the Mike Vrabel mentality right there. You know, that's the Mike Vrabel mentality. Next one. This one is fantastic. Will Parkinson, our boy, he actually recorded this one. This is some true football fans right here. When you're in the parking lot and you're practicing your pass sets against maybe your significant other, I don't know, it looked like it, but when you are doing that, that's a real football relationship. So we've got the clip here. This is right before the Jets-Lions game. Look at the form. Look, did you see the long arm?
Dude, that was solid.
Dude, dictating the contact.
That guy's played O-line at some point, yeah.
Is this Austin Gale?
This is my favorite social clip of the year.
He's got his feet cooking too. You see no overlap in the set. Like he's still keeping the distance between, keeping the base solid, just in case she engages contact. Now, her pass rush plan, non-existent here. I mean, the one arm over to the outside.
Trying to get up the arc.
When she's got no bend to begin with. Let's keep it real. You got to play through the chest there if you're going to get to the quarterback.
She's trying to get up the arc. You know, I respect it, but you're right. Look at the form. The hands are still up. You know, he's dragging the foot. The foot is still there on the kick slide. It's beautiful. For everybody that doesn't get the Austin Gale joke, how tall would you say that Austin is?
5'8".
So Austin's 5'8", and he would constantly remind us that in high school he played in the trenches. He played offensive line. And when anybody was like, we don't believe you, you're 5'8", he'd literally get in a stance and put his hands up. He'd be like, try to get by me. Try to get by me. And there's the aggressiveness in which Austin would make sure you would never get by him.
Yeah. I saw him pile drive Anthony Tresh onto a bed at the Shrine Bowl last year. So,
look, Tresh tried to bull rush him, and he put him in the dirt.
He got low man.
Finishing is non-negotiable, as Duke Manyweather would say. All right, the next clip, Cardinals-Broncos. We said that we were going to touch on this game. Look, we didn't know that J.J. Watt had 3 sacks in the game yesterday. There were a lot of people that didn't know that J.J. Watt had 3 sacks in the game yesterday. Look at these ticket prices for this game. I've never seen anything like this. You could have gone to an NFL game and had multiple options to do so for less than $16?
You know what's
Your
crazy?
beer would cost more.
2019. This is what it looked like in Cincinnati. I think Win knows.
I don't even know if it was that.
I don't know if
cheap.
it was that bad.
These are Cincinnati Reds tickets right
Yeah.
here, which is also bad. But
I do remember my buddy 2019. It was maybe like a week 15, 16 game, trying to give away tickets. People would not take. People would
Yeah,
not go
fun
to the
fact.
stadium.
I used to have 4 season tickets. I have 3 now because during the bad years, we could not give away our 4th ticket.
Yeah.
People, we would literally ask all of our friends, and everybody would say no. So we dropped down, and like the first year we got Joe Burrow, everybody's like, do you still have those tickets? And we're like, nope. Sorry.
Now it's too late. It's too late. Can't be a fan later, you know? I remember there were some games when I was in college, me and a couple of my buddies would be like, let's go to Raymond James. Let's go to the Bucs game. And we'd look for tickets, and they'd still be like $60. I'm like, the team's got 2 wins.
Yeah.
It's like week 15. The team's got 2 wins. You're going to charge me $50 to go watch the game? I'm not going to watch this. They're 15, maybe. You know, it's different. That's wild, though. Those are some low prices. Elliot said tickets were $4 for the Browns game on SeatGeek.
Really? That one, just because the other opposite side of that's still in the playoff hunt.
Right.
That would surprise me.
Maybe it was because it was a Saturday? I don't know. Last one we got. What do we got here? What's the last one? We had to get to it within the first 15 minutes of the show. It is the greatest play to end an NFL game in NFL history. Patriots, Raiders. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know what rock you're living under, but we'll play it for you again, I believe, right here. You got to see this. Fan cam. Shout out Ethan Ham. All right, score's tied. There are now 0 seconds left on the game clock. This is going to go to overtime. Just get down. Just get down. It's going to go to overtime. Just get down. Get down. No. What? No. What? No!
First off, love the fan cams.
Love the fan cam. Love the fan cam.
There's still a video of the sideline cam of Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary against Detroit way back in the day that I still watch because it looks awesome because you see the whole throw. You see the whole ball. So in this one, you really see the play developing and how crazy it is that he throws it to where he does. Because what is he looking at this point?
Is he throwing it to Mac?
If he is, that's still crazy, but he heaves it. Underratedly to blame for this play, Ramondre Stevenson.
Yep.
I get
When
Jacoby
he pitched it,
Myers.
he freaked him out.
Yeah,
He
Jacoby
freaked out
Myers.
Jacoby Myers, and Jacoby Myers is like, I got to just get rid of this too.
Never expected to have the ball.
No.
He is spooked.
No,
And
he
so
is.
he thinks, immediately what goes through his brain is probably is this the lateral play? Are we doing the lateral? Because Ramondre Stevenson never should have lateral in that situation. The worst thing you could do, not the worst thing you could do. Actually, that is the worst thing you can do. But that
Quite
is the
literally,
worst thing you can do is give the ball away. You just get down. It's over. The game's over. You just cannot lose on that play. Obviously, at that point, you can't win. It's going to take a miracle to win. Giving the ball up like that, that's the crazy thing is Bill Belichick's been at the losing end of probably the 2 craziest plays to finish a game over the last decade at least, and he's supposedly the best coach team in the NFL. Both of those times happens to the New England Patriots.
I'm glad that you brought up the Ramondre Stevenson point because Jacoby Myers after the game was obviously he understand that he messed up big time, but he sounded like somebody who knew that was the wrong thing to do, and he just panicked. I mean, we all do weird things when our backs are against the wall and we got to act in a moment. We just do something we regret. Sometimes that happens, but I don't think Myers does that if Stevenson doesn't lateral him the ball. And right now, obviously, Myers is the one who's catching all the blame. And why did Stevenson do that?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
And who is Myers throwing to?
That also.
Who's he throwing to? He threw it
Chandler
right
Jones.
to Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones.
Well, maybe he's like Chandler Jones used to play for the Patriots.
Maybe he's
I know that
double
was
agent.
8 years ago.
He was a double agent. Yeah.
Still thought.
Pain, dude. Pain. We're going to get to a little bit more of that game as we kind of talk about our superlatives and we talk about the games that we want to talk about in different ways. That's not going to be the last time that we reference that play or the Patriots and the Raiders. Mike, let's get into kind of what we want to talk about most. We mentioned how this was one of the most exciting weeks in the NFL for a lot of different reasons. What's the game that you want to talk about most? I'll open it up to Saturday as well. You can go back to Saturday. You can talk about a Sunday game. What is the game that you want to talk about the most from what we saw in Week 15?
Yeah, I mean, we had the largest comeback in NFL history occur, I believe. regular season history. Maybe it was a whole NFL.
Oh, I think it was in NFL history, just overall.
And was not even the craziest play of the weekend. But I do want to talk about it because 33 points the Vikings came back from, again, at halftime. It was a field day for Old Takes Exposed. I don't really have a great take from this game. I mean, because it kind of sucks that it happened in a game where it didn't really matter either way who won. I mean, I don't think the Vikings are pretty much going to win the NFC North either way, had they lost this game or not. The Colts are going to be picking the top 10 had they won this game or not. Mm-hmm. But down 33, come back. The Vikings now are 11-3 on the season with a plus 2 point differential. The Jaguars are 6-8 and have a better point differential than the Minnesota Vikings this season. The Minnesota Vikings are sneaking by on their teeth, living about as right as one possibly can to go into week 16 now with this record and the 2 seed. I don't know if they're going to be contenders come playoff time, but man, if you're a Vikings fan, this season is about this is one for the memory bank because this is about as Cinderella season as you could hope for.
I don't know where you go from here if you're the Indianapolis Colts. This, to me, feels like a loss where you almost have to clean house entirely because of this, right?
They were going to.
But I don't know if they were entirely, right? I mean, you never know what Jim Irsay's going to do. Mm-hmm. Now, it was more likely that they were probably going to get rid of the entire coaching staff. That was probably what was going to end up happening with the Colts. But, I mean, there was talk that Chris Ballard's job is safe. Honestly, I don't even know if Chris Ballard's job is safe because of this result. Ballard didn't put a helmet on. He didn't put shoulder pads on. But this kind of a loss, this stings, man. This stays around. And unless you change almost as much as you possibly can in an offseason, whatever remains is always going to remind you of how this was even possible. Because this isn't just a loss. This isn't just a bad loss. This is a historic, embarrassing loss for the Indianapolis Colts. And I honestly believe everything's on the table now. When the season is over, when the final chapters of the 2022 NFL season for the Indianapolis Colts are done, I think Jim Irsay is going to sit back and he's going to want to put the torch to all of it. And obviously you can't cut every player on the roster. That's impossible. You can't just have an entirely new team. But I really do wonder how much this loss went into that being as close to possible as you can. From the front office to the entire coaching staff to guys who are still on the team, how much scorched earth we might go and how different this Colts team might look next year.
Yeah, it may very well be the start of maybe a longer-term rebuild. They've been kind of kicking the can in how they've approached the team building since the Andrew Luck retirement. Maybe time to actually think about, maybe not a tear down, but a actual...
Oh, sure.
A true rebuild.
Look, if you blow a 33-point lead, you've got to think about a total rebuild in a lot of ways. The game that I want to talk about the most, I'm going to go back to Saturday. One of my favorite games of the weekend. It's Dolphins-Bills. I'm not going to lie to you, Mike. Didn't have a lot of faith in the Dolphins this week. Not because they're not a good team, and it didn't really even have that much to do with Tua. I just didn't think this Miami team was going to be up for it in those conditions, in that environment against Buffalo. And you know what? They absolutely were. Yes, the Buffalo Bills won the game, and I think everybody's been giving them their flowers, deservingly so, throughout the weekend. But I'm going to give some flowers to the Miami Dolphins. I get it. There's no moral victories in the NFL. But the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, right? We know this team is going to be in the NFC playoffs. It's just a matter of what seed they're going to be in. Their speed guys continue to show up, even in conditions that you would think might have slowed them down a little bit. You see the stats right there for Waddle, for Hill, for Mostert. Those guys all were still able to go off, and they were still able to look more athletic than everybody on the field they were going up against. That last point there at the bottom, Waddle and Mostert, number 1 and number 2 in the NFL from this past week, NFL Next Gen stats, fastest players in the NFL. To me, that was monumental. They went to a hostile environment, in a cold environment, in a snowy environment, and they were still able to be unbelievably fast. Sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes the elements can really get to you and neutralize that kind of athletic weapon that you have on your team, and that just was not the case with the Dolphins. I'm just so excited for the AFC playoffs after this game. It gave me more faith that whatever order we get the AFC playoff teams in, it's going to be great matchups throughout.
That's the thing about this. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight. But you'd be lying to yourself if come playoff time you said that you wanted to face the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
They are the most dangerous. They're going to be a wild card team now, obviously, but they're going to be the most dangerous wild card team that literally, if you're seeding yourself as a 1, 2, 3, 4 here, you're trying to just avoid the Miami Dolphins in that wild card round. Because everyone, I think, at this point would much rather face the Jets, much rather face the Chargers, much rather face the Ravens.
All right, what about the game that shaped the playoffs? What do you got?
I am going to go to the game that probably had the biggest probability swings for any playoff teams, and that was the Giants-Commanders. Pretty much a glorified playoff game there. Now, both still have a chance to make the playoffs, but we've highlighted how difficult the schedules going in are for these teams. Washington Commanders, after this game, their percentage to make the playoffs went from 77% pregame to now 43%, and look at that gauntlet down the stretch. This really was a must-win for both these teams because of this. 49ers, Browns, Cowboys may very well be dogs in all three of those games. Depending on what the Cowboys do with their starters in Week 18, could be big for them. Whereas on the Giants side, again, keep highlighting that Week 18 match of the Eagles, could be big for them. But at Vikings versus Colts, Colts team obviously that we can see is capable of going to overtime with just about anybody, even 2 seeds in the NFC right now. So, huge win for the Giants. Have to give a shout out to Kayvon Thibodeau, his best game as a pro. I believe he had a pass rushing grade of 88.9 in this game.
Let's go.
Sack, fumble recovery, touchdown. The game changer. He was a monster. He has been coming on very, very strong of late. Looks like a home run pick at number 5 overall.
Loved it. Also led the team in tackles too. I mean, he was the biggest impact player.
Yep.
For the Giants last night. There's no doubt about it. So fantastic, man, to see Kayvon Thibodeau really playing well here in his rookie season. For my game that shaped the playoffs, I'm going to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took down the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 40-34 in overtime. And I want to shout this out. Not only, of course, it shaped the playoffs because the implication with the Cowboys and them clinching a playoff victory, even though they lost yesterday. Jags staying in it, right? We talked about this last Friday when we were doing our playoff bracketology. You even picked the Jags to win the AFC South and make it to the playoffs.
My bold prediction was Jags win, Titans lose this weekend. Let's go.
And he nailed both of them.
Yeah.
So the Jags still have a chance to make the playoffs. And if they do that, they're a dangerous team. And I think they're a dangerous team because they have nailed the head coach quarterback connection between Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. Of the 3 games that they have, well, actually, they've won 3 of their last 4 games. Of those 3 wins, I'll run these by you. Ravens game, down 19-10, down 27-20, ended up winning the game 20-27. Versus the Titans, down 14-10, ended up winning the game 36-22. Versus the Cowboys yesterday, down 21-7. Then at one point they were down 24-10, won the game 40-34. This team always believes in themselves. This team has that comeback DNA, if you will, where you've got to play them until the clock hits 0. And they have got the talent at quarterback to make sure that's a risk at all times. No matter how much they are down by at any point earlier in the game, the Jags are for real. And are they a complete team yet? No. But they're absolutely a dangerous team because they've got what's important and a quarterback who's playing really, really well and who's talented, and they have a connection with the head coach that has an identity with this Jags team that I feel like we haven't seen since that 2017 season that they made the AFC Championship run. They believe they can win every single week, and that's not something I've been able to say about Jags team in the past. So wanted to point that out too. This is a legit playoff team. This is not okay, let's maybe sneak into the playoffs. If the Jags end up making the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out no matter what, even if their record is going to say that they're one of the lower teams there.
Well, it's because Trevor Lawrence is elite. Like, he is the guy that everyone thought he was going to be coming out of Clemson, why he was billed as this high-end prospect. Since Week 9 now, the highest-graded quarterback in the NFL, and this is not a stretch where, and I said it after the Kansas City Chiefs game, I'm like, this looked different. Like, he has looked different in the confidence aspect, the decision-making aspect. It has just looked like the elite quarterbacks, the Josh Allens of the world, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, what they look like when they're on. That's been Trevor Lawrence of late, and that was him yet again in this game. And you don't have to look too much further than the 2-minute drill the back-to-back ones he leads at the end of the game. And yeah, he fumbled on the first one, but then the second one to have the wherewithal to get them back into field goal range. It was just high-end quarterbacking that you can't fake. And when you have a quarterback like that, that's why we opine for, drafting those guys highly. When you have a quarterback like that, it makes the rest of the roster just look a lot better when a guy's playing at that level.
Yeah, especially with that. I'm excited to talk a little mock draft or whatever we're going to end up doing for the draft episode on Wednesday, because you look at that receiver group. Zay Jones has been playing really well lately. Obviously Christian Kirk's been playing decently throughout the year. They get Calvin Ridley next year as well. We starting to shift from wide receiver?
Still give him one more. One more would be sick. You don't want – you want it to be sick. I'm saying you want the offense to be – like, you're winning because your offense again.
All right, we might have a debate about this on Wednesday.
You want it to be unstoppable.
We might have a good debate about this on Wednesday. All right, what's the game that shaped the draft? Speaking of the draft, what do you got?
Game that shaped the draft. We have to go to the Cardinals at the Broncos. And we've talked a lot about the Broncos this season, and obviously they don't have their pick that they just bumped up a few spots here. But the Arizona Cardinals, we now have to talk about them a little bit and what they're going to do this offseason, because they own the 4th overall pick right now. Very well could end up being higher than that when all is said and done with Kyler Murray on the bench with that ACL tear. But you just got to look at this and go back to, I'm drafting the top 5. Here is the history of Steve Keim with top 10 picks. He's 1 of 4 right now. If you're drafting the top 10, your GM's 1 for 4 at that point in the draft, you got to go back to the drawing board. We're talking about teams in the Indianapolis Colts that are ripe for a cleaning of the house. Arizona Cardinals, if anyone needs a full-on house cleaning, everything must go, everyone must go, and just get a complete new plan in place.
Going out of business soon.
Because it's, again, you're going to be bad this year and you're going to be bad next year, because Kyler Murray's probably not going to come back until midway through the season, if that.
If that, yeah. Well, look, they said that he might be ready for the beginning of the season. That would be an incredible recovery from him. I expect him to at least miss some time into the first month.
And a big part of his game, though, is also, it's not like Joe Burrow coming back from an ACL tear.
Right.
It is a guy that relies on that mobility. So,
what did you say, Quinn?
Joe can run.
Joe's got a little scoot, too.
So you're saying he relies? But I said he relies on the mobility. Joe doesn't rely.
Right. The game that I think shaped the draft was actually the Eagles-Bears game. And I know that only one side of this really shaped the draft, because the Philadelphia Eagles, they're picking at the very end of the draft order right now because they have the best record in the NFL. But the reason why I say it shaped the draft is because the Bears are having the perfect season, I think. Mm-hmm. Realistically, obviously the perfect season would be you win all your games, you go win a Super Bowl. But that was not going to happen for the Chicago Bears. They are still a ways away, right? New GM, new head coach, new quarterback really coming into his own. Like, all of this stuff was still building. So the Bears weren't going to be big-time contenders this year. But the offensive line's playing better. Tevin Jenkins getting hurt sucks. But the offensive line's playing better. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields is showing that he is the guy. There's no debate going into the offseason whether or not you think you have the guy at quarterback. You do. Huge question mark answered there. The secondary, I'm really liking this young secondary. They got Jalen Johnson. They got Kyler Gordon. They got Jaquan Brisker when Eddie Jackson comes back and he's healthy, right? Like, I really like the secondary. Now, all of a sudden, you're putting yourself in a position to shore up the front, the defensive front, get some good pass rushers in there, get some playmakers in there in the passing game as well. But you've got really nice picks. The Bears look competent. They took the Eagles down to the very last parts of that game. But the important part is they lost. They continued to have that number 2 overall pick. And so if you go further down the draft, they've got an early pick in the 3rd round as well. Unfortunately, they don't have an early pick in the 2nd round because they traded that for Chase Claypool. Wish that would have been the Ravens pick, but I digress. Them looking competent, them looking confident in the right areas, and yet losing football games is perfect. The Chicago Bears are such a pivotal point of the 2023 NFL draft, because if they have the number 2 overall pick and they obviously believe in Justin Fields, what they can do with that pick, possibilities are kind of endless. You could trade down with a myriad of different teams. You could end up taking a really great defensive lineman at number 2 overall. You can fortify pass catchers in the 2nd round with your late 2nd round pick and your early 3rd round pick. Boom, boom, go right there with offense back to back. Like, all of a sudden, the Chicago Bears are setting themselves up for a slingshot of a year next year to really figure things out. So even though Eagles winning this one didn't really shape the draft on that end, I think it totally shaped the draft, because I feel as though Chicago being in control of that number 2 overall pick can tell the tale of where we're going for the 2023 NFL draft. So, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree that Chicago, this was ideal. Like, you wanted the high pick and you wanted Justin Fields to look good. You got both. All right.
Game that didn't make sense.
Game that didn't make sense. We both had the same one. We touched on it already.
It's the same one.
Patriots Raiders. I mean, as much as The Colts-Vikings didn't make sense. This was a more of a rarity, I'll say. This was the most improbable, at least ending during, non-overtime, during regulation, that I think I've seen in NFL history. You're not with the ball, with the opponent having the ball, and what was it, under 10 seconds left. You don't think you could win. There's no chance you should win that game in regulation. And they did.
Oh, did we lose the lights?
We lost the light.
We lost the bottom of the lights. All right, well, the rest of them stayed up. All right, we're good there. Dude, this game was bonkers. Shout out to Bonkers in the chat. For so many different reasons. I was watching Raiders media and Raiders fans on social media losing it during this game. Fire Josh McDaniels after the game. Don't let Derek Carr start another game for this team. Completely clean house. Have Davis sell the team. Like all of this stuff. And then somehow they come away with the victory in this game. But the reason why this one didn't make sense is because of all that. I still think Derek Carr did not play well. I still think that Josh McDaniels blew another lead for this Raiders team, right? And on the other side of things, how bad does Mac Jones look? I have no faith in Mac Jones at all whatsoever right now. Somebody asked me afterwards, do you have faith that Mac Jones should be the guy for the Patriots going forward into next season? No. What has Mac Jones done to make you think that, yeah, okay, we're going to believe in Mac Jones. He's going to be the guy next year. They're getting quarterback competition in here. They should. They should look at different options. Not to say it's the worst thing in the world if you go with Mac next year. Maybe there's a chance that he can have his best year of his career yet coming in 2023. But what's to say that he will? The body language is so off. He's yelling at coaches on the sideline. I don't believe in Mac Jones at all whatsoever, man.
The Patriots they're not making the playoffs this year with their schedule going forward. And it's difficult to think that they'll be able to improve this roster because they're in a kind of a bad cap situation because of all the stuff they did in free agency a couple years ago that we talked about. The Jonnu Smith making over $15 million against your cap next year is malpractice, and they're going to have to pay for some of that here shortly.
What about some other games, some best of the rest games?
I just want to give a shout-out to some rookies here. I know we don't really touch too much on draft and rookies, but I did want to say there's a few guys who have later on in the season, we touched on Kayvon Thibodeau a little bit, who have come on really strong. Kyle Hamilton, Raven safety, he's moved to the slot there. It's been a weapon for them out of there. Been huge to their defensive turnaround of late. Obviously, they don't win that game, but only allowed 13 points in that one. Tyler Linderbaum also for the Ravens has been a top 3 graded run defender over the second half of this season. And then Aiden Hutchinson over the last 5 weeks is a top 5 graded edge rusher. A lot of first rounders who maybe started off a little slowly, coming on strong of late, deserve some love for their play. Look like they're about to join the top group, upper echelon at their respective positions.
Love it. Love the shout-outs there. I'll stick with the rookies because there's 2 things that I want to touch on for the best of the rest. First one's Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder starting his first game for the Atlanta Falcons. Stat line, 97 yards passing, so he didn't hit the 100-yard mark. 0 big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays, just a 44.4 passing grade, adjusted completion percentage of just 56%. Mike, what did you think about Desmond Ridder in this game?
Not ideal. It's your first start, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Ridder because, honestly, I wrote this in my scouting report about him. There are times at Cincinnati where he would just be completely inaccurate to start games, first couple of drives of games. And I don't know if he was too hyped up. I don't know if he had nerves. I don't know if he had butterflies or whatever. But as the game went on, it's almost like he becomes this different quarterback. Like he settles down, the accuracy is there, the decision-making's there, it slows down for him. And against the Saints this past week, which, let's be fair, facing a New Orleans defense in New Orleans, not an ideal place to get your first start. Okay, I want to make that very clear. But he had that same stuff. Beginning of the game, he looked completely erratic. Could not put the ball where it needed to go. Looked rattled with decision making. It looked like the game was moving really fast on him. And then as the game went on, he kind of calmed down a little bit. So he was playing a little bit better as the game went on. I think Arthur Smith said that as well after the game. So it was pretty par for the course of what we saw with Desmond Ridder. But this is still the right move. This was always the right move. You got to play him. You got to see what you got in him for these last 4 games. So now that they got that game out of the way, hoping we see a little bit better of a performance with them moving forward. But there's plenty of reason to why he didn't light the world on fire here in his first start. What about Zach Wilson, though? Zach Wilson for the New York Jets obviously comes back. is the starter because of Mike White's injury. They lose this game. And Mike, you could see Wilson's stats right there. 317 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, just a 55.8 passing grade. Had 4 big-time throws, but also 3 turnover-worthy plays, 54% completion percentage on the game. What did you think about Zach Wilson? Do you think he deserves to keep that starting spot if Mike White's healthy?
That's tough. No, Mike White's still the better quarterback. Still the better for this offense right now. As you see, the 3 turnover plays. Like Zach Wilson was just, you'll still throw that play up for grabs once, twice, 3 times a game. And with a team like the Jets, with how good your defense is, you can't afford to have a guy losing you games at the quarterback position. But there were some encouraging things. I go to the flip side of the ball, though. This Lions team, especially, we call it the hottest team in the NFC, defensive side of the ball now. Everyone knows about their offense, how much it's been humming. But defensively, like I said, Aiden Hutchinson coming on strong of late. James Houston, the rookie out of Jackson State, coming out strong of late. A pass rush specialist there to add some juice to their third down packages. And now they got Romeo Okwara back the past couple weeks. He's just big for their run defense. Another big edge setter for that team is where they've struggled a ton. Him, Ali McNeil playing great on the interior. All of a sudden, this Lions defense creeping back towards average. You know, they were horrible at the beginning of this season. You're finally seeing them start to have some impact type of players on this team.
I will say this, though. The Lions defense is better than it was at the beginning of the year, but there were still throws to be made that Zach Wilson didn't make. And ultimately, that's why I think if Mike White is healthy for next week's game, you have to go back to Mike White. I think it sends a really bad message if you continue to have Zach Wilson out there, given the fact that he didn't really prove anything this past game that you hadn't seen from him already. Zach Wilson is simply the big throws right now. He is not the stuff that you need in between those big throws, those high plays. He doesn't have that kind of consistency outside of those highlight reel throws and showing off the big arm. The play-by-play stuff is just, it's not there. And you go to the interception that he threw this past game. I mean, what in the world was that? Like, safety at all. It's like, my guy, you're in the pros now. You have to. These guys will pick you off, and they absolutely did this past week. So definitely a shout out to the Lions. Lions are on an absolute roll right now. But if you're the New York Jets, I really do think that if Mike White is healthy for next week, and it's a little tough because they play on Thursday Night Football, so it's a short week. But if Mike White's healthy and you can clear him, you got to go back to him. And I think you just got to go back to Mike White no matter what at this point, because of the message that you might send to the team. So there we go. That's those are our thoughts on some of the games. People are shouting out James Houston in the chat. Sack in every single game that he's played. Yeah. He's got 5 sacks over the last 4 games, I believe, is what it is. Just wild, man. Truly a pass rush specialist. You're right. What else we got here? People shouting out Cater Code, the cornerback for the Miami Dolphins. Just seeing what you guys are talking about. Oh, they're shouting him out because of the rookies that you were talking about, obviously. Nico, Tyler Algier, shouting him out. Probably the angriest runner in the NFL, it feels like. Him or Isaiah Pacheco. Those guys will not be denied no matter what. And then, of course, you scroll up a little bit to the chat and you get Matt Patricia slander, which I feel is going to be littered throughout the chat. No matter what. All right, before we get to Monday Night Football, because we're gonna preview the last game that we have here of Week 15 a little bit. You guys love the segment, so we're going back to it. We got another drip or skip this week. We're taking a look at players' pre-game fits, walking into the game, and Mike and I, being the fashion icons that we are, we're going to say whether we think it's drip or whether we think it's a skip. And you guys in the chat are going to help us out here for this one. So, Quinn, are we ready for it? Do we have everything loaded up for drip or skip?
Yep, let's hit it.
All right, first one, Devin White, I believe.
Devin White, you got it.
Okay, all right, first one is Devin White.
Oh, Devin did not come with it.
I can't do the pants, man.
He's the pants, and then he's wearing like New Balance running shoes underneath the pants.
Come on. Don't hate the New Balance.
No, I think are those not J's? They look like some.
Either way, they don't give.
Don't hate the New Balance.
They don't compliment. They're not complimentary. Not complimentary.
The color palette kind of is, though. Black sunglasses, black watch, black pants. Got the white accent. Shoes are a little stand out, but it's all right. You can be bold with the shoes. I just can't get with the pants. I don't know what we're doing there.
They're flower power pants.
If the pants were like straight black, I think it'd be a nice fit. Wouldn't be a standout.
Skip.
But I'm going with
big skip.
I'm going with a skip there. Anybody else saying?
Chat seems pretty split on this one. My favorite comment, Buzzard, says his wife's jammies. That's pretty good.
Smut says those are Jordan 4s, Mike.
Okay. Well, I was more referring to the color palette.
Matt saying those are the Union 4 Jordans. Man. Matt also says, so the confidence makes it.
No. You can be confident as hell in that.
Not an expert says New Balance slander. Can't have it. Great running shoes. Also, you know, if you're a dad and you own a grill, you got to be grilling in New Balance, you know?
Yes.
Tell you know it's going to taste good.
What are the New Balance? What are the classic ones? The
997s.
997s.
The 997s. Yeah. You got to get the ankle white socks and the New Balances, and that's how you know the barbecue's always going to be fire. Okay, what's the next one? This is Trenton Irwin.
Trenton Irwin, the guy that's been carrying Joe Burrow all year.
Yeah, carrying Joe Burrow all year.
This is my favorite one, I think.
Oh, man.
Ace.
That's your screen guy on third downs.
Is this Ace Ventura?
It's Ace Ventura.
That's where you're going, to him.
So the only beef that I have with this
Good.
is obviously like they're in Florida, which is where Ace Ventura takes place. But he should have pulled that out when they played the Dolphins this year. Now I know it was in Cincinnati, but seeing Ace Ventura Pet Detective is about the Dolphins, he should have shown up to the Dolphins game at Paycor Stadium wearing that. But other than that, that's A+. Ace Ventura, great movie.
Literally everybody is saying drip, and then Matt just goes, yikes.
That's a quick, easy drip. That's just.
I think it has to be a
Matt
quick,
needs to
easy
watch
drip.
some more TV.
That's amazing. Look, anytime that you can really pull off a movie or TV show famous outfit, I think we're probably going to give it a drip. Mm-hmm. Unless the character that you're portraying sucks for whatever reason. But even then, if you can pull it off well, I think you're always going to get a drip here on this show. I think everybody is going with the drip.
Chad is big drip on this one.
Big drip. Oh, Griff says it's that Kid Rock from 2001. He does kind of look.
Nick says he dresses like my wife's boyfriend.
Little kid. Damn.
Your wife's got
Damn.
good taste.
Wife's boyfriend's got good taste, I guess. Yeah. All right. What's the next one? Who's next?
I believe it's Derrick Henry.
Okay. I'm gonna call this a drip, and I would have said that even before I saw it, because I don't want to be on Derrick Henry's bad side at all whatsoever. I don't even want him to hear me. I don't even want to think that.
I kind of dig it.
But I kind of do like it.
Yeah.
What's up top? What
I wish we got a better pick of it.
Yeah. What's the writing here?
I think it says justice in like crystals.
Yeah. Oh damn.
The picture makes this though. Like that picture with the lights
bus,
looking
with
away
the
there.
bus
Like
behind
that looks pretty cool.
It makes, a pretty boring hallway look a lot more interesting than it is. Like those underneath the stadium hallways are very mundane, but it looks cool. I like it. I think it's drip.
Jeff caught on in the chat. Jeff went, "Hold up, your wife's boyfriend." He got it.
Welcome to the internet.
I couldn't wear it. He can.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
he
fair.
He can.
That's a fair point.
He can though.
I
can't wear pants like that. I can't do it.
Didn't really have.
But Derrick Henry can.
Yes.
Is the moral of that story, I think.
The details I couldn't really ID, but I think the overall fit was sound principles.
Smut says the picture's cool, but if we're being honest, the fit's trash. Trash. Trevor Joseph said Drew Skip. That doesn't count. Can't do that.
Those pants weren't the most versatile, I'll say. You're not going to fit those into a lot of fits.
But he did well pairing it with black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like black fit, right. And then those pants pop. So I do see. Derrick Henry could pull it off. We could. We just can't. And you know what? We can admit that. Micah Parsons is next. What do we got for Micah Parsons?
Oh no.
I kind of like it though.
He looks
a little bit too much like a prison suit.
That's what I was gonna say.
A little too much.
He
but
looks
it's not.
like the chef at a prison.
But it's not. No. But instead, you gotta take your mind out of that, and you just gotta go. All right, it's like a peach-colored, monochromatic, like the shoes, the bling's popping up top.
Bling's good.
I think this is a drip.
The suitcase is good. Shoes.
I think it's a drip.
The fit's a no for me, dog. It's a no.
I think it's a drip. We're gonna be on opposite sides here.
And it almost looks like pajamas.
It's almost like creamsicle, though.
I don't love it.
Come on. I like the monochromatic stuff.
I know.
The monochromatic stuff I think looks good.
I just think the color's not my thing. Not mine.
If it was a different color.
Let me go skip. Yeah, I think.
What if it was baby blue? What if it was
still probably a skip?
Baby blue would be a skip?
I think so. I'm trying to think of what would look good with that. Maybe like.
I would say that I'd rock that in baby blue, but like I'm also not nearly
like
as
a
jacked
charcoal.
as Micah Parsons is, so I'm probably
Yeah.
it's not going to go well for me. Is the chat split on this one? Are they going skip on this one?
Yeah, chat seems to be as split as you guys are, really.
Okay, all right.
We need Uncle Dusty to chime in here.
Where is Uncle Dusty?
Let me see if Uncle Dusty's
got to get in it. All right. Well,
Apparently not seeing Uncle Dusty yet on this one.
All right,
I'll call
okay.
it out if I do.
all right, Donovan Knight, he's next. What do we got for Donovan? Bam Knight.
Zonovan's still working off that UDFA contract, so he's probably can't go as outlandish as some of these. But I like it.
Wait. Is that?
It's a hard fit.
Is this? Hold on. I'm Googling to make sure that I have this correct. No, all right, I don't have it correct. Is that an album cover?
Yeah, gonna.
Right? That's an album cover.
Push and P.
Okay, I typed in the wrong album. Okay. I thought that was an album cover. All right, then this is sick.
I'm a fan. Yeah.
Well, but
that's
Gunna also
good.
is kind of under fire because he just ratted in court.
Oh, no.
You're out here wearing an album cover of a guy who's under scrutiny.
Hey. Rides
Tough.
who he rides with that.
That's tough.
The headphones too. I mean, the color is all a little monochromatic, a little grayscale on us. Then it makes the gold chain pop. I dig it.
Yeah. No,
Cool
I like
song,
it.
too.
I do like it. We had a skip. We had a couple of skips up top, but Parker said UDFA drip goes so hard. Quell said, "Is that Gunna?" Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to there. No, I didn't think that it was Future's album cover. I thought it was Baby's album cover. And
Future's in that song though, in Push and P.
I thought it was a Lil Baby cover album, but it was Gunna's. So come on, Hopeful Lions fan, you got to cut me some slack here. All right, who do we have next? George Pickens. Pickens is next.
Yes, George Pickens.
Nathan, easiest trip of all time.
God, George Pickens is a psychopath.
Man,
He owns it though. That's
He's a
the thing.
psychopath.
I like
this guy. I fucking love it.
He's not bashful about it.
no, bashful has never been a word that's ever, I think, been associated with George Pickens.
God.
That's why it was wide receiver 3 for me in this past draft class.
I mean, that's a drip. I go to bat for that.
I wish the bag was the same color as like the over-the-shoulder bag, like the bag that he's carrying. Like the purple and the blue messes me up. But like you see how the sun, like the glasses are blue, the over-the-shoulder bag is blue. If you would have also had a blue handbag, then we're talking about like boom.
Dude.
It goes.
George Pickens always wearing the what are those things? Balaclava? Is that what it's called?
Ski mask.
The ski mask.
That's just that being his signature look is fantastic.
That is true. It is true. He's always wearing the ski mask. All right. Well, he pulls it off again. Like I could never, but George Pickens pulls it off. Josh Allen is next. Is this like snow game Josh Allen? Is this like big hat Josh Allen?
Oh yeah, that's QB1 drip again.
Look, I'm basically wearing it. If you put
effort.
that logo right here, I'm wearing it. This is an automatic skip. I'm wearing this today.
Oh, dude. I mean, again, it may not be anything special, but that's QB1 drip right there. That's what you want your quarterback to look like. That means that he spent more time watching film
Oh, get out of here.
than caring about his outfit.
Get out of here.
If you're a fan, you love that shit. That's all I'm saying.
What is this? Drip?
That's a drip
Oh, yeah,
for me.
this is drip. Yeah, it's a drip. I mean, I can't say anything else. Like I said, I'm basically wearing what he's got on right there.
Yeah.
It's a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Look, he's got the beanie. He's got the AirPods in. This looks like me when I take my dog for a walk in the morning. Honestly.
That's a dog walking fit.
That is a dog walking fit.
It's a drip.
Yeah, it's a drip. It's a drip.
The thumbs up in the picture really sells it.
No, 100%.
It's just like you saw the camera guy, and that's like the most basic like white guy pose ever. It's just a thumbs up.
Love it.
All right, who we got next? We got two more, I think. DK.
We got DK.
Oh, DK's always a good one. Come on, DK.
Oh, we didn't get a good angle of it.
What is this?
Yeah, there was a video. It's just a quick video, and they don't really hit a great angle. But I do like that coat.
That coat
No,
is
I
what
can't
like
do
a
it.
local news
Can't do
reporter wears on location.
I can't do
covering
it.
a story.
No, I can't do
Female,
it.
by the way.
I can't do
That's like the overcoat they wear. You know, like news reporters always stick out like a sore thumb because they're wearing something super.
Well, like
bright on
covering
TV.
like covering like a storm or something.
Yeah.
It's like a raincoat. You're saying?
No, like just how
Just an overcoat?
on location reporters are always
Oh, okay.
dressed to the nines compared to everyone else.
That does happen. Sure.
That's what that looks like.
No, I can't do this.
That's
I can't do this one. I
Yeah.
can't do this one. I don't know, like the tan and the whatever peach color we're looking at here. I can't do it. Can't rock it. Just skip. Anybody else digging the coat? Anybody digging the coat?
No.
TJ said he's effing huge. We're not talking height, weight. We're not mock draftable. It's not combine yet. Do you like the coat?
It's pretty much
It's
just skips from
giving
the chat.
Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element.
That reference
No? Okay.
straight over my head. I
Is
got
it The Fifth
nothing.
Element? Is that what it's called? Sixth Element? What was that movie? Whatever that movie was.
I believe it's called the periodic table of the elements. Okay, the last one. This just says mascots. Is it the Jags mascot again? Is he Wilden?
Well, we'll go ahead and hit it, but I don't know any other way to describe it than. I mean, this
Oh,
is
it's
just
mascots.
mascots. Yeah.
What is this?
Vikings got the Louis bag.
Why are
his lunch
they?
pail?
What are they? What is this? The Oregon Ducks there? What? What? The Colts mascot's
there
out
so
here
many?
getting it. The Colts mascot is wearing Pat McAfee's coat.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if it was one of those mascot like halftime games. You know what I'm talking about, where they like bring out the Pee Wee
I
team.
mean, the Bear mascot's got a goddamn baseball bat. He's going to break legs. This gets a drip for me because he's wearing McAfee's coat.
Yeah.
McAfee's coat's got the big
I do
gold
like
chain.
The Vikings one really is channeling Kirk Cousins, though.
I do like it though. I do like it. Just a big ass head and then like normal clothes underneath, neck down, very normal. I think everybody's is everybody going drip with the.
Some mascots weren't even wearing clothes.
Wait,
What's up with that?
hold on.
They're just naked.
So Faro said skip all mascots. He said they're lame.
Oh, he's just an anti-mascot on the
Solf
whole.
just like
Hater.
hates mascots.
I am a mascot fan. I'm like all of the pageantry that surrounds football in general, I'm here for. Like the crazier stuff you get, like a buffalo riding around your field, stuff like that. I'm in on all that stuff. I've always been in on all that stuff.
But not for mascots.
No, mascots too.
Oh, okay.
I'm
okay.
saying
I thought there was a butt. coming.
any like ancillary thing I'm in on.
Okay. All right. Respect to Madman says, Trevor, I need you to watch The Fifth Element. It's a great movie. Okay. All right.
It's a good movie.
I'll add it to the endless list of movies that I have not seen because I'm just not a big movie guy. Sorry.
It seems like everybody's saying drip. That's like the weirdest collection of mascots, though. We had the
Yeah, I didn't
Vikings.
understand.
It's
I didn't
It's the
understand.
Orlando Magic, like the Gophers. It was so weird.
I didn't quite
I
get
don't
it.
understand.
And the Colts, like what?
We got to get to the bottom of this. Eli, I think that's what you need to do, though. You got to get to the bottom of this stuff.
I'll try to do some research.
You got to be like the obscure facts guy. Maybe we can get down to the bottom of it by the time the show is over. Let's preview Monday Night Football before we get out of here. Los Angeles Rams, led by Baker Mayfield, against your Green Bay Packers, still led by Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, sir.
We believe. The Packers at home. This game's in Green Bay. Favored by a touchdown?
Yeah.
7 points?
And they're going to cover.
The Packers?
Yeah, and they're going to cover that.
Over-under is 39.5. And then we're going to give you guys a player prop as well. Mike?
Packers in a blowout. And the over. And the prop is Rodgers over 21.5 completions. Rodgers is going to be pissed. People have been talking about benching him. And he's over here saying you still have a chance in the playoffs.
Whoa. What do you mean, people? You?
Yeah.
You?
I'm people. Sure. That's correct. Rodgers is going to be pissed at me.
The
at
owners.
everyone.
We're talking about benching.
Yeah. So
The owners.
21.5 completions for Rodgers, too. We're hitting all of them. Packers are big. Monday night.
Green line has an A bet for the Rams getting 7.
Okay.
Also have an A bet for going over 39.5. I'm going to split the difference on that one. I'm going to take the Rams getting 7 points. But I'm going to say under 39.
Oh, wow. You were going opposite ends of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going very different here. We're going very different. And I'm also going, you're saying Rodgers over 21.5 completions. Correct. I don't mind that one. Mine is Mayfield under 0.5 passing touchdowns. So I don't think he throws a passing touchdown. I think it's a low scoring game.
Okay.
Is it going to snow? We get snow in the forecast?
I don't believe so. But I'm not sure.
Just a beautiful night in Green Bay?
I'll send a text to my brother. He's probably at the game.
Is he a weatherman?
No.
He's
in Green Bay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, is he also an owner?
Yeah, whole family.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, you guys got to have great.
Our family group text is called the Packers shareholders.
Wait, are you allowed to bet on the game?
I think I am. I don't have any.
I think that would be a difficult thing to sell to fans. It's like, hey, buy season tickets. Also,
you can't bet.
You can't ever bet on any NFL game. I don't think that would be the case. What's the chat saying? Chat getting any of this in here? Oh, no, Aaron Donald. So Parker says he agrees with you. He also called you Rainer instead of Renner. But that actually works because reindeer, like 'tis the season, like kind of Christmas season. So I don't hate it. Blink asks, how many touchdowns does Christian Watson need to steal Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I mean, a lot, right? He probably needs like 6 more of the last. Because he only has like 400 receiving yards.
Yeah, but he could do it, though.
Yeah, could. I hope he does. Let's go.
All right. Eli, did we find out what happened with the mascot ball?
Yeah, so it was the halftime thing, but I still don't understand why like Oregon's mascot was there because I had looked up because I knew there were a bowl game Saturday, but there was not a bowl game played at US Bank. But it was for like the halftime little like game against children. So
it was okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was wondering if it was like an elimination chamber, like WWE match, but like in the mascot stuff.
That would be electric. That'd be like in the old NCAA games when you had the mascot games.
Oh, who didn't play those?
It'd be like that when you do the head-to-head.
Which is just a true classic.
Really is.
It's a true classic. All right, what do we got as the answer to the question of the day? What is the last time that J.J. Watt recorded 3 sacks in a single game? You going 2018?
2018.
I think I'll go with 2017.
Okay.
I think I'm comfortable.
Go with it.
With 2017.
It is 2018.
Oh, Daddy.
You cheater.
Giants.
You absolute cheater.
Kind of a crazy career arc for JJ.
Old Jage. Yeah, I mean, he's either been the greatest defensive player on the planet or he's been hurt.
Yeah, 2018 was his last real full year of dominant ball. 78 pressures that year. Jesus Christ. And then it just injured the next year.
Yeah.
Not the same since.
Sucks. Yeah, it stinks. All right, guys, we have a jam-packed week for you. We're condensing all of the best of It's Just Football into 3 shows this week instead of 5. So obviously we had the Monday show, which you guys just watched. We've got the Tuesday show tomorrow. We're going to feature Dogs of the Week. Then the Wednesday show, it's going to be heavy draft. We're going to be into maybe some mock draft stuff, maybe some updating some team needs. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for it. Enjoy Monday Night Football, everybody. Do we have a chat champ?
Yeah, I was about to say, you almost skipped chat champ. We have Haley O, chat champ.
Hey!
Super active in chat. Love to see it. And then also had to give a shout out. Someone said we didn't mention the Bengals enough, but definitely because Trevor doesn't believe the game happened. So.
Oh, it didn't. No, it was an important bye week for the Bengals. It's good to have a late bye week. You rest up a little bit, right? It's not a stressful week. You don't got to do too much. So big shout out to the Bengals for having a really nice bye week. It's definitely going to propel them towards a really tough end of the schedule here. But great on the Cincinnati Bengals for doing that and winning the bye week. We give them a salute. For Trevor Sikkema, for Mike Renner, for everybody in the production portal, thank you guys so much for watching It's Just Football. We'll see you right here, same time on Tuesday. See you guys then.
It's not about politics, it's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. He's just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
I just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.